Hello, police.
Don't be looking at your watch. Exactly 7 seconds late.
On time is on time, late is late.
Now, Dolly's a cold face. Anyone think you had a date? You're decent in a man of your age.
I don't see any connection between Benbow and Catherine.
Oh, well, leave it to me.
Oh, Sergeant Beck gone?
Well, he's either gone or been beamed up.
Yeah, but is he coming back, though?
Why?
What's going on?
I was just wondering if Sergeant Beck was coming back, Mum.
Why?
Ah,
Danny,
can I have a word, please, Mum?
come through.
Yes, ladies.
We want to report an assault.
There you are, my darling. Now cook it slow, mind. Cook it slow and eat it quick. Nice piece of shin.
I beg your pardon, I didn't know that sort of thing was in your line at all.
I was talking about the meat, Joseph.
How you been?
I'll be glad when there's more folky work, to tell you the truth.
I didn't know you were political, man in his own line of business like you.
Just because a man's out of work through no fault of his own, you wouldn't want his kin hungry, would you?
Of course not.
Butcher's shop and High Street Bank combined, dear Joseph. Well, you ought to remember well enough. When you were a shop firer, Wednesdays would have been bread and scrape 1 week out of 3 if it hadn't been for my dad.
Get that developed. After all, you found it in the middle of the road, and we don't know who it belongs to, do we?
No, Mum.
Well done.
Two young women have just arrived, Mum, claiming to have been assaulted by Backley in Mannion Street. One of them has a nasty shoulder wound.
When's this supposed to have happened?
Yesterday.
Well, why have they not reported it sooner? Are these the two young women who sprayed paint on the window of his shop?
They are, Mum, yes.
Let's have a little chat about this, shall we? It doesn't smell right.
Where can I get all the film developed quick?
Nick it over to Div HQ.
What's the problem? Well, I've got a feeling I'm supposed to be using my initiative, only I can't quite put my hand on it.
Yes, madam.
Hello. Is Inspector Longton in?
I think she's busy at the minute.
Oh. I'm Esther Pearson. Someone's trying to sell me a story about a homicidal butcher. Do you know anything about it?
Would you like to take a seat over there for a minute, please, Miss Pearson?
They shout through the door, they run off, he follows, catches up with them, hits one of them.
Broadly, Mum, yes.
Then what?
Don't follow.
Well, does he aim another swipe? Does he run off stricken with remorse? Offer them his hanky? What?
I haven't got that far, actually.
One of them is wounded.
Yeah, Margaret Houghton has a bruised laceration at the top of her shoulder. The doctor's coming.
What was your impression of them, George?
Determined? Worried?
Okay, I'll talk to them.
I've enough to worry about me without carrot eaters.
Someone has it in for you, John. Mightn't be a bad idea to slip down the station and give us your version of events.
Okay.
Tomorrow,
It might be later on.
so long as you don't leave it too long.
Sounds official.
It wants writing down, John.
Oh. Could you go in, please? Yes, sir.
I witnessed an assault yesterday on a young woman. I don't particularly want to get involved, but it was serious, I think. It looked serious.
I see, sir. Can you just tell me what happened?
It was in Mannion Street. I saw this man take a swing at this young woman. Dealt her a heavy blow on the shoulder, side of the neck.
Tip off.
Yeah.
Where from?
If you had a grass, you wouldn't tell me.
The only grass I've got's growing in my backyard because I can't get to weed it.
Is it true, then, this story?
I don't know. Some women squirted paint about in a butcher's shop. That much is true as far as I can see. As for the rest...
What rest?
Come in tomorrow, Miss Pearson.
Okay. Will it be worth my while?
If you don't come in, you won't find out, will you?
Are you asking me for advice?
Yes. Why?
I just don't want my head bitten off, that's all.
Mark.
All right, all right. Get the butcher in.
Yeah.
See if he'll give evidence against them. Because if he won't...
It might mean he has something to hide. Thanks. George, will you come in?
Yes, Mom.
Can you send someone to see Bartley?
Joe Beck's gone, on his way home.
To ask him to come in? Good. I'll see those two women now.
There's a man here, too, a Mr. Stone. He says he saw the assault.
Who is he?
Passer by, as far as I know.
OK, I'll talk to him first.
Right.
Did you manage to get hold of Benbow's supervising officer?
Bringing me back.
Not ideal conditions, I'm afraid.
Doesn't matter.
Quite a lot of bruising. Who's your own doctor? Haven't you got one?
I haven't got one here, I'm afraid.
Why's that?
I'm away from home at the moment.
On holiday?
Sort of.
How are you for anti-tetanus immunisation?
I'm not sure.
All right. Come to the casualty department at the hospital tomorrow morning. Give them this. Tell them I sent you.
Thank you.
I'm amazed, frankly, Mr. Stone. I mean, you witnessed what seems to have been a murderous assault on a young woman, and yet you wait nearly 24 hours before you bother to report it. Why?
I didn't want to get involved.
Same question. Why?
Excuse me, why don't you get hold of that butcher and ask him why he hit her, instead of laying into me for giving evidence? You want to know why I didn't come in sooner? Precisely because of what's happening now. What's the matter? Don't I look respectable enough to have witnessed an attack on the member of the public? Am I too young or what? Perhaps I'm a socialist
That'll
even.
do. Full name and address.
Cattrall. This address. Thanks, Jack. I'll do you a favour sometime.
You're anxious to make a complaint?
I'm not anxious.
What then?
I just think someone ought to know. Don't you believe me?
Is there any reason why I shouldn't believe you?
I don't know what you mean.
Are you in the habit of telling lies?
No.
What is it then? Did you perhaps do something which annoyed the butcher? Did you?
I didn't hit him with a cleaver, did I?
But you did something.
We sprayed some paint on his window.
And you spilled paint all over his floor. And you knocked some meat out of one of his customers' hands.
Yes.
And the curious thing to me is you did all this after you knew he'd already chased you once.
Yes.
With a cleaver.
Yes.
Why did you go back? To see if you could provoke him enough to hit you?
Ask him to ring George Parrish at Hartley, will you? We're inquiring about a Derek Stephen Benbow, one of his clients. Yeah, when he comes out of court, will do. Where you been? Hartley? Fine.
I need to see Bartley today. Can I ask him to come in?
Well, apparently he's gone to the slaughterhouse, Mom. You're going to charge these two women?
I wish I had something to charge them with.
Criminal damage.
The paint came off with a damp cloth. On second thoughts, ring Bartley at the abattoir.
Before I say another word to you, young woman, I want to know how you found out about my car.
I'm a newspaper woman. I have contacts in all the local garages who give me tips about any unusual accidents.
You chase hearses for a living, is that it?
There are worse ways of earning a crust.
Like disemboweling dead people and little furry animals, I suppose.
You said it, not me.
This country worries more about animals than people.
It's curious, though, is it not?
What is?
The only poison penlet you've ever had is from someone who objects to you cutting up mice.
Yes. It crossed my mind.
I'd have said that was very odd. Wouldn't you?
Animals have rights too.
What rights do they have? Animals?
The right to live their lives free from pain. The right to die of old age. The right to be taken into consideration.
And people? Do people have rights?
Yes.
People like Bartley the butcher, for instance. Does he have the right to live in peace? To earn a living, as he's done and his father before him, for 30 years in this town?
He had no right to hit my sister with a cleaver. Look, it doesn't matter to me what you think of how I feel about animals and vegetarian diets and whole food philosophy. What does matter is that you take seriously an attempt by a lunatic to kill my sister. Are you going to do that?